Hi, everybody. Welcome to our live guided meditation today. My name is Stephanie Wagner. I'm a meditation teacher and health coach based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I am here today to guide you in a live practice on behalf of Healthy Minds Innovations. And as we're getting ready to get started here today, I would love to get to know you a little bit more. If you would share with me in the chat box where you're from and maybe just a word that describes how you're feeling today. And there's a little bit of a broadcast delay between when I can see the comments and when you chat them in. So as I'm waiting to see your comments, let me tell you just a little bit about who we are at Healthy Minds Innovations. We are a nonprofit that's affiliated with a research institution at the University of Wisconsin-Madison called the Center for Healthy Minds. And what we do is we actually take the scientific insights coming out of the Center for Healthy Minds and we translate them into tools to help people both cultivate as well as measure well-being. And we've been coming together every weekday during this pandemic to practice together, to build a sense of community, to support one another, and to train our minds in these qualities associated with resilience and well-being. And each week we've been practicing around a theme, and the themes are grounded in our Healthy Minds model of well-being. If you're not familiar with that, check it out at tryhealthyminds.org. But essentially, there are four different dimensions to our well-being model, which are awareness, connection, insight, and purpose. And within each of these dimensions of well-being, there's a set of skills. And these skills are both trainable as well as they are linked to being beneficial to well being. And so our practice theme this week is all about insight. Now, insight is really this practice to get to know our own mind, to see how our thoughts and emotions work to shape our sense of self, how our thoughts and emotions shape the way in which we see the world. And so, what we're doing is we're training our mind and insight as we're getting to know our minds better. And we're working towards creating a healthier, more flexible, and adaptive sense of self. So let me see who we've got here today. Wonderful. Great. Yeah, we've got people from California, from Illinois, Italy. Great. So excited that you are all here to practice with me today. So we're going to do a practice today in which we're going to look inward. And when I say look inward, what we're going to do is we're actually going to look at our thoughts. Now, if you've ever practiced meditation before, sometimes what can happen is we can get into this sort of adversarial relationship with our thoughts where we're like trying to block them or get rid of them. So, here, what we're doing is we're actually just watching the contents of our mind. We're watching our thoughts, we're seeing the images that are associated with our thoughts, the narrative stories in our thoughts. We're seeing those moments where we actually have no movement in the mind, where there's no thoughts. And we're actually just using this to get to know ourselves better. And of course, every time we're practicing meditation, the essence of meditation is awareness. And so I'll guide you in a little bit of a practice first to just get grounded in this sense of knowing, this awareness, and then we'll move into looking inward at our mind. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and get yourself comfortable in your seat. You can place maybe both of your feet on the floor if that feels good to you. Place your palms in your lap. And you can choose to practice with your eyes open or your eyes closed, whatever feels easiest for you. And take a couple of slow, deep breaths. On the out breath, see if you can let go of any tension in your body and let go of any busyness from your day. And then let's touch in with our motivation for our practice today, trying to tap into an inspiring motivation that goes beyond just being beneficial for our own well being, but that we're practicing to benefit others as well. So take a moment to set that intention in your mind. And so let's take a few moments to ground ourselves in this present moment awareness by bringing attention to sensations in our body. Begin by noticing sensations in your head and your face. You might notice if there's any tension in your jaw, your eyes. Not trying to fix or change your experience in any way, simply allowing your mind to be with what's happening as it is in this moment. And then notice sensations in your shoulders, your back, your chest, and your belly. Notice the feeling of the breath as it moves naturally, observing your chest rise and fall with the breath, and your belly expanding naturally. Simply being with whatever sensations are happening, not trying to alter your experience in any way. And then notice sensations in your lower body, your legs, your feet. That feeling of being supported by your chair, your cushion. Notice the feeling of your feet being supported by the earth. And then simply allowing the mind to rest. No need to pay any attention to anything in particular. Allowing the mind to be present and aware, and simply resting the mind as it is. And now see if you can notice any thoughts happening in your mind. There might be images associated with these thoughts, perhaps some kind of narrative story, or there may be no thought. And so simply knowing that. observing what's happening in your mind for the next few moments. We're not so focused on the content here. We're simply seeing the thoughts and the movement of the mind. Thoughts come, thoughts go. Simply noticing what's happening with your thoughts. And this practice can be challenging if you find that you're having difficulty watching your thoughts, if you feel overwhelmed. At any point, you can allow the mind to rest, either an open awareness practice or resting on some other aspect of your experience, like breath or body. Try and do your best. And you'll have those moments naturally where you'll get lost or distracted. Notice when that happens. And you can particularly pay attention to if there are thoughts that feel sticky that cause you to get distracted. Simply noting those, noticing those, reconnecting with the sense of awareness as you continue to watch thoughts arise and dissolve in your mind. You might notice that there are patterns of thought. Maybe there's even patterns of judgment about your experience. And you can see these as thoughts. They move through the mind, they come and go, and you can observe them coming and going. All right, let's take a break, take a moment to allow the mind to rest. No need to watch thoughts, no need to do anything in particular. This practice is not easy, so allowing your mind to take a break. All right, let's give it another try. Let's tune inward again. And this time, notice if there are any feelings present. Could be energy, excitement, agitation, whatever is happening. Simply notice the feeling and see if you can become aware of any associated thoughts. What thoughts are tied to this feeling? And if there's nothing there, you can simply allow your mind to rest in that space. Is there a narrative story associated with the emotion? Any images? Perhaps an underlying tone or attitude to that inner voice? And observe those things. We're not trying to block the thoughts or change the tone of the thoughts. We're simply observing the thoughts as they are, movements in the mind that come and go, separated with some space, and just observing that. And as you're becoming more familiar with your thoughts, you may see that the mind is constantly moving. There's this constant stream of thoughts. And rather than becoming identified with it, we can see it. We can see the thought as a thought. Noticing those moments of distraction, you're pulled away from the sense of knowing what's going on with your thoughts. Simply reconnecting with the practice of watching your mind and those thoughts come and go. And then you can drop the technique once again, allow the mind to rest, not paying attention to anything in particular, allowing yourself to be present and aware. Take a moment before we conclude our practice to reflect on what you noticed. What did you notice from watching your thoughts? What did you learn from this? Was your mind busy? Was it calm? Was there a certain tone or attitude? Take a moment to reflect on your learning, any insights gained. from looking inward. All right, and if your eyes have been closed, you can simply open them. All right, you did it. Congratulations. You did a little insight practice looking inwardly into your mind, watching your thoughts, and would love to hear from you in the chat how that was for you. This practice is oftentimes not easy. It's not easy to allow our experience to be as it is. It's not easy to watch our thoughts. And yeah, I want to hear just maybe a word or two about your practice experience. But this practice really allows you to see the thoughts as they are, as this changing movement in the mind. And when you see the thought as a thought, you can actually take a moment to just see it and then choose how you're going to respond rather than getting caught up in the reactivity of the thought. So this is just a really, really helpful practice. We can begin to see these narratives going on in our mind. We can see that, thoughts are comprised of these stories as well as images. And it can be really helpful to help us work with a lot of the discomfort and suffering that we have in our lives. So I'm going to take a look and see what comments we have here. Yeah, settling into some physical discomfort. Yeah. Yeah, I find myself this practice to be quite challenging and yet also quite rewarding. So, if you're interested in continuing to train your mind in qualities like insight, you can check out our app, Healthy Minds Program. You can download it wherever you download your apps normally. And this is our last guided meditation for Now This News, Now This Media. So, thanks so much for allowing us to be with you throughout the month of May for Mental Health Awareness Month. If you are interested in continuing to practice with us at Healthy Minds Innovations, we'd love to have you on our YouTube channel. Check us out at Healthy Minds Innovations. You can subscribe to our channel and you'll get alerts as to when we go live. We have been practicing every week, and for the rest of this week, we will continue to practice with the theme of insight. So you'll get a chance to connect with different meditation teachers as well as different practices that really just get you in touch with knowing your mind and knowing your experience more deeply. So, wishing you well, wishing you ease, wishing you happiness, and look forward to connecting with you in the future. May you be well.